We delayed our departure from Tréguier to allow the tide to back off a bit. As you can see, flotsam was going by at a quick rate. Shortly after leaving Tréguier, we encountered a very strong squall. Winds only rose to 25 knots, and visibility dropped to a very short measure.
Sorry?
I set it to 50.
Great. Can you look on the chart for targets?
With visibility dropping to a handful of boat lengths, it was important to use radar. New boat problem. We had too much gain on the radar, so Gale went down below in the relatively dry conditions to turn the gain down.
Well, we left the dock with no events. Jason did a great job steering us out of there. And then we came into a huge rainstorm. Everything flooded. I had to use my bath towel to wipe up all the water in this lawn. And then the sun came out. So we're hoping that the storm in front of us moves faster than we are, which wouldn't be very hard since we're in 2 knots of current right now against us.
We're motoring, and yet over ground, we're barely making 3 knots. Still not 100% sure what speed I motor at, somewhere around 6. Why are we motoring? Because the wind speed is 3.5.
We do have the main up for stability, and the main has a reef in today, just to practice the reef.
We had the intention of arriving at Tréguier at slack water around 6 p.m. But maybe we're going to choose midnight, because that's the predicted arrival time. We'll see how it goes. They told us they always find you a spot at Tréguier, and it's well lit at night.
Here's a chart plotter documenting our current hell. STW is the speed through the water. SOG is the speed over ground. The difference is the amount the current is slowing us down. With a boat going a little over a knot, it is going to be a long trip to Tréguier. I started to become concerned why we were going so slowly speed through the water. Were the instruments off or something else? So I decided to place the GoPro underwater and try to get a look at the propeller. On the little GoPro screen, it was very difficult to see all of the weeds that had covered the propeller.
Into so much current, there's a bit of vibration, and just on the desire to be super safe, I filmed the prop to make sure there's nothing on it, since we were in a river, or being a new boat, that there wasn't something on. But it looks great.
But it wasn't great. The propeller continually was getting a beard made of seagrass. You can see when the engine is put into neutral, some of the grass comes off the folding propeller. Later on, I would develop a better technique for removing the grass.
Maybe you can update us. What was the slowest speed you saw?
0.7.
0.7 of a knot, speed over ground.
Yes.
And
I think we were arriving in like December.
it was, I saw 7 a.m. the next day, and it looks like we're gonna come in around what? 7:30 p.m.
45.
p.m. So 12 hours earlier than, yeah. Talk to me about how we got some more speed going.
Oh my, brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Noticed that the boat was sort of shivering a little bit, and backed down, went to reverse, and a whole bunch of weeds came onto the front. And all of a sudden, poof, we got another half a knot, and the boat stopped shaking.
Now, are we out of the woods? Like, we still have to find a slip, put the boat in the slip, and not get the big gray cloud.
Yeah.
So we still have stress level still at a full 9, right?
Yeah.
Good. There's the port we're headed to, and there is just a really cute island.
Put us at the little guy dock because we're going to be here for a while. And the benefit is I think we get more shelter and a shorter walk, but what we do not avoid is the walk of low tide, or more likely the mountain climbing of low tide. Gail, you're going to commence? I will show us the way.
Run up.
You're gonna run up? Okay, I'm gonna watch this. Wow. And they call it flat fender. And because the boat has a relatively wide stern, it's tough to put fenders on it, and so I've chosen to go with this system. Now, it's a little bit wide in the second segment, but I've added just some nice little carabiners so it's easy to get on and off. Okay, we finally figured out how to pronounce the town. It's called Tréguier. Gail, do you want to try it?
Tréguier.
D'accord. We can now say the name of the town without looking like idiots. I started this video with a sailing action, but here's a tour of Tréguier, which we just sailed away from. This serious-looking chap is Tudwal. Born a Welshman, he moved to Ireland to learn Christianity, and then moved to France to expand the faith. Tudwal founded a monastery in now modern-day Tréguier, and was one of the 7 famous monasteries of Brittany. Tudwal died in 564, so fast forward to the 14th century, and these wonderful wood stucco buildings were being created, based on the town's wealth by being a seaport.
Bonjour. Street sign to read. What is she reading here? Oh, they're beautiful drawings.
This house is in need of major support. It's being held up by the scaffolding. You can see the primary beam dips in a huge way. A little French lesson. Linguist.
There are better ones in France, right?
Well, that tower has to be a recent.
When touring, we remarked that the tower does not match the same age as the cathedral. It turns out we were right. And it was paid for by the French lottery. And the pattern inside the tower is supposed to look like playing cards to represent the benefactor. This is a little footbridge that connects Tréguier with the neighboring town. This bridge has very exacting standards. No bikes, no horses, no mopeds. This commemorates the end of the conflict between France and its former colony, Algeria. It says the end of the fire in Algeria. On this road, you've left Tréguier. And it tells you over on this side that you're coming in to a new town, Tréguier. Oh, I didn't pronounce that correctly. But there you go. French road signs. Red slash, leaving. No slash, arriving. So, 3 languages on the sign. À bientôt, French, see you later. Ken Ivit an Desu, which is Breton language, and see you soon. Well, that one we got figured. There's the marina. Le Port aux Plaisance. There's the waiting dock in case you missed the tide. We're about 40 minutes from Slackwater. People are leaving a little early, tougher to dock, but they get to leave on a nib, so they get out of the river faster. 100 years after his death, they went and put a plaque for this guy. He's Ernest Renan. He's a writer, and I'm gonna go do some reading on him, but what I read initially was not really the nicest guy. Tie yourself up. This was before Google Maps. Used to carry these things around, large stone tablets. Gail, explique notre endroit maintenant.
C'est la maison de la bishop.
Exact. Crazy dress shop. Make sure we're not getting run over. Hearing all the revving engines.